think of 2.
Probably.
Three. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Download Youth Ministry Web Show, episode 260. Doug Fields here with my friends Josh Griffin and Katie Edwards.
Hello.
And we are...
It's weird to be sitting in this seat.
Well, we've mixed things up today. Our fourth person did not arrive, and that's right. We didn't want him anyway. He's been pismoed, but he was supposed to be here. And anyway, we are thankful for Youre Specialties. It's our primary sponsor.
Thank you, YS. Love you.
And this is our last show for 2014.
How great is that?
2014.
It was a great year.
This would be a perfect place for like a montage of our greatest hits from the year. Don't you think Parker should do that?
That would be amazing,
A tearful
yes.
look back at 2014.
Montage. So here we are, last
I hope you all enjoyed that.
That was stunning.
I mean, when Katie has an idea, it just
Jump on
goes.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
The memories.
You know what I noticed about Katie? Our last show, we did a live show in front of probably 1,000 plus people.
It was so
It was
fun.
very scary.
With the three of us and the Skit Guys.
Yes.
We did it at the National Youth Workers Convention in
They were
Atlanta.
epic.
They're the best. And what I noticed about Katie in that national conference scene is Katie has a couple interns that worship the ground you walk on.
Adore her.
Really,
That's true.
if you saw her there, what the guys do is there's two of them, and they would just lay down in front of one another, and Katie would walk on one, and then the person would get up and...
Yeah, her feet can't touch the ground.
No.
There's no way.
And then every time I saw you, they were bringing you some gifts or some treats.
A beverage, a
You
snack.
can't even deny that, can you?
Loyal people. I don't know. I love my people, and so thankfully they
I
love
do
me
too.
back.
They don't treat me like that, okay?
Yeah, I was going to say, now,
I'm going to
Katie,
start whipping my people
many
now.
years
I
ago,
love team.
you worked for me, and I don't ever remember you bringing me a pencil.
Shoot. I'm sorry. I'm a different person now.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Oh, I was going to say, a little different view from the top, isn't it, Katie?
Totally. Oh, gosh. It's lonely.
Anyway, nice. Hey, Josh, we have fabulous sponsors of our show, Azusa Pacific University.
do. Thank you,
where
Azusa.
both of you guys are going to get a master's.
Yeah,
one of these days.
I'm going there Friday night for a performance in their theater. I'm excited about that.
That's close to getting a master's.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're rounding up
Feels
on
like
that.
a step in the right direction, anyway.
And we have our dear friends from Leader Treks.
Yes.
Who I love.
I know.
Yeah.
I talked with them at Youth Specialties at length about their one leadership brochure that talks about kind of leadership for seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just the best.
stuff.
They have
They're
so
great.
many
Really,
great
really
ideas.
good.
They're great. Well, they're our dear friends because they provide every month. They provide us
best.
for our membership.
Yeah.
A student leadership. It's one of the
Yeah.
perks of being a member.
The Dark Side of Leadership just came out on the site. That's a very cool one.
And they're also part of our student leadership conference.
They are, yeah. Which is going to be awesome. Which you can find out more details at studentleadershipconference.com.
Thank you, Josh.
And we also got to hang out with YM360, right?
And how great are they? They are great.
They are great. I like Les and Andy. Good dudes.
Yep.
And then their other guy who was there too.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call him Bob.
I don't really know him. Met him once.
I don't either, yeah.
Met him once. Listen,
He's a
Andy,
nice guy.
and they have so much stuff going on. I feel like a couple years ago they had notebooks out.
Yeah.
And now you walk by their booth and there's like 30 books.
Outstanding, yeah.
I think pretty much the DYM web show has put them on the map.
I totally agree. In fact, we had a bit. I was joking with them because I messed up their promo code. It was supposed to be like DYM, or free ship was one of the promo codes you could use, and I thought it was DYM10. So I said I'm going to randomly announce a new promo code on every show for Youth Ministry 360. So today's promo code is banana, and you'll get a discount in your cart from YM360. There you go.
And free shipping.
And free shipping. Yeah. You know what? Let's do it. 10% off and free shipping.
All right. Somebody better write that down and let them know.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right.
He says he watches
Banana.
every show, and he's like, oh, I got to make a new promo code.
Okay. There you go. There you go.
Funny.
Done.
But they have great
do.
resources, and we should have some. I told them we do a better job promoting their stuff when we actually have the physical
agree.
product.
Yeah.
Hey, this person, by the way, Katie, I left all my notes at home. My black folder that has all the.
It's definitely a different little.
It's a different system right now.
Getting ready for a new year, right around the corner. Here we go.
Yeah, no, I just left it at home, and so I didn't have questions. So we texted DYM members.
Yeah.
Because we have some people that have looped into this thing that we call the in the loop or insider. I forget what it's called. No, it's you got to text in the loop. Okay. And so we've texted them like 3 times or 4 times.
Thanks for educating
and
me.
One of them,
I really don't know.
One of them was Doug forgot the notes. Send notes. Send questions.
Yeah.
And they did.
They did.
So
all those questions are fresh,
check.
hot questions. Here we go.
Awesome.
Right? Boom.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. This one was actually one that
from 4 years ago
was not from. No. This person's name is Sean, and I am a legacy member.
All right.
Which we need to clear up some confusion because legacy member is anybody.
There's a lot of terms.
I know. That's our fault.
Our fault.
Legacy member is anybody who's a member the first year.
The earliest.
Don't say early because legacy member / early adopter. Those are the ones that get all the gifts. So anyway. It goes, and this person, Sean, goes all the way back to episode 00. I'm a 21-year veteran youth pastor and currently serving in a church that operates under the purpose-driven model. I myself have always stayed pretty close to the model in my own youth ministry strategy and vision, but over the years, the purpose-driven vernacular has drowned out. My question primarily for Katie and Josh, do you still operate under the purpose-driven model? If so, how closely, and do you have some practical ways you can share that you implement that vision and strategy to the youth?
Yeah, that's a great question. What did it say? Drowned out? What does that mean?
It just has faded, maybe over time, like talking about it, like the purpose statement and stuff like that. Maybe.
Yeah, I like it.
That would be
honestly, I got tired of talking about it, but.
Well, and it became kind of a brand, and then of course that's going to date something, and so everything has a shelf life.
And
I get
what I said from the very beginning: don't call it purpose-driven. Call it whatever you want, because there are some people with like purpose-driven, and they've never read the book, they have no idea what they're talking about, but just because it was hot, they don't like it. So I was always the one that said, don't call it purpose-driven, call it biblical. Because really, for those that don't know, purpose-driven model, really what he's talking about is that you would develop a youth ministry that reflects and emphasizes evangelism, fellowship, discipleship, ministry, and worship.
That's awesome.
God's biblical purposes.
And to answer the question, absolutely, yes. I would say we're very much a purpose-driven youth ministry. We care about those 5 things, and everything we do, every calendar, every event, everything is connected to a purpose. Now, I think there's a good, newer leeway in how we accomplish those purposes. So the style of ministry might be a little bit different from what's recorded in purpose-driven youth ministry. But I would say, absolutely, we're still very much focused on the Great Commandment and the Great Commission and those 5 purposes, Yeah, we had a conversation today even about putting them up in our youth room. Like we were just looking at this blank wall. We're like, what can we put on there? Like, well, we don't have the purpose statement anywhere. So that would be a great place, front and center, a great spot for it to go. So How about you, Katie?
Yeah, I mean, I think the purposes are linked to health for us. We've always thought of the biblical purposes being something that keeps us balanced as a youth ministry, helping students, live a life of worship. And so that's really what the purposes kind of are linked to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think when the book was written, we were definitely maybe structured a little bit different. And that's the cool thing about the model is because they're biblical principles, it really can come in all shapes and sizes as far as programs and events and the way that we flesh out the purposes. So those things have changed and kind of grown, or some things have faded over time. Some things have stayed strong, so.
Some of the how has faded.
Some of the how,
not the why.
Principles. Not the principles, not why we exist.
Example of that would be like we did area Bible studies for a long time, and now we have a little more of a traditional small group model, or we call them life groups. Another example might be, we would do an occasional special event, and that's taught in purpose-driven youth ministry for evangelism. And I would say we do less. We don't even do occasional anymore. We do a couple times a year, which maybe is occasional, but less occasional. So there's a few like nuances and changes, but at the core of it, very much so. I mean, we just did our spring planning a couple weeks ago, And we did it by purpose. We said, okay, what are the evangelistic opportunities that we want to create for our students? Great, okay, we got that done. What's our fellowship? What does that look like this year? So even in our planning, we're working through the 5 purposes.
And how we communicate to parents and how we train volunteers definitely comes from this place of, this is why we exist. You know, this is what we're trying to do, and the purposes are at the core of that too. So it's not even just the way that we plan, but the way that we communicate and create perception. Even our church is linked back to that.
Yeah, totally.
Well, and one of the reasons that this sounds self-promoting, I don't mean it this way, you guys know that, but one of the reasons it's all over the world is because it's not based on what Saddleback did or does. It's based on the Great Commission, the Great Commandment.
Absolutely.
And so how do we build something that reflects evangelism, fellowship, discipleship, ministry, and worship? How do we reach those who are outside the faith, move them to a deepening place in their faith where they're serving and reproducing themselves?
It is really fun watching churches all over the country and youth groups take that framework and then run with it in different directions and different styles and you know, even different. We use reach, connect, grow, serve, honor, stuff like that. It's fun watching them come up with their own purpose words, their own names, their own kind of leanings and strengths and weaknesses. I've been to youth groups that do purpose or youth ministry better than we do, and I'm just like, it came from our church and they're killing it. And I love that. Like, how awesome is that you take the biblical framework, own it, and make it your own, and then watch God do great things.
It's great. Andy Watts, family pastor from Gateway Church of Nazarene in Oskaloosa.
That's not a place.
Well, I don't know. What is that?
Oh, Oxawachahatchee?
Oxaloosa.
Oxaloosa, New York, Iowa.
Yeah, and this is a question similar to our friend Susie Ralph sent in. So Susie, as articulate as you were, I'm going to go with his question.
I like it.
Mostly because she said some mean things about Josh, but save that for after the show.
Forget it. Andy, I like you more than Susie. Go.
I can't believe Doug forgot the questions at home. I suppose that happens at his age. My name is Andy.
What did Susie say? That was cold, Andy.
Yeah, I prefer to throw me under the bus. I appreciate
that.
Susie throwing you.
You know, you've always been that servant.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I wish you'd bring me drinks the way that Katie's interns bring.
You can walk on me anytime. My back's a little sore anyhow, so if you wouldn't mind.
I'm doing that for a while. I'm a DYM member and in a quest to become a rewinder. I'm struggling with my quest because my church, which I love, uses the term family pastor, which means, quote, Andy does everything.
Yeah.
I may be exaggerating.
Also works there too.
Yeah. I may be exaggerating a bit, but my role includes the children's ministry, middle school, and high school ministry, and I lead worship on Sunday mornings after teaching 12th grade Sunday school and before leading the second half of the children's service. I'm also tasked with the communication of the church, website, social media, print materials, etc. Again, I love my church, but how do I get them to recognize they are hurting their own ministries by spreading me so thin? I was supposed to be the youth pastor when I was hired. Thanks for all you do. That makes my crazy job easier with the resources and the tools you provide. Well,
sounds like you could use your job being easier right now. Wow.
Well, when somebody says that's, you know, I've said this on the show probably in 260 episodes 13 times, is my recollection. I can't remember my notes, but I know how many times I've said this.
No questions for the show today, but he remembers this.
Here is the 14th time I've said this. When somebody tells me that is their job description, my typical response is, oh, you do nothing well.
Right.
Because the truth is, if you are overseeing all that and doing all that, you just can't be as effective. Katie, you get to live your life just focused on junior high. Josh, you get to live your life just focused on high school. I get to live my life focused on fixing the mistakes that Josh has made down the
Which is a very quick job. We're all set.
Yeah, that's why I have plenty of time.
He's on vacation most of the time.
Yeah, I will say.
Yeah, out playing ball today. Why?
Totally.
You know, I'm slugging away serving our members.
Okay. Wow.
Maybe the first time I've looked directly into the camera.
I like
Josh
it.
does that all the time.
Okay. Month in New York. Keep going.
So anyway, this guy's spread thin. Susie Ralph is spread thin. No, that's all right. Jealousy says all kinds of stuff. I'm not concerned. Susie's basically saying the same thing. I'm now going to oversee children's ministry. We've got 50 volunteers. Wow. Do you recommend me finding someone to care for all these extra people? Basically, I don't have time, to do all that's required of full-time children and full-time youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so spread thin.
As I heard Andy's question, it sounded like he was doing everything himself. So he was leading this, teaching that like the person on the stage in front all the time.
Yeah.
So I know that isn't probably always the case, but my heart went to, man, find someone to teach the 12th grade, like oversee it still, but find someone to cover that 12th grade Sunday school spot. And that would take an enormous weight off your shoulders. Now you can prep well as you lead music and work. Just to me, as I heard all those things that he was doing, I was like, man, a volunteer team here solves a ton of problems. Create some new ones. Now have a team to care for and manage and all that. And it creates a lot, train people and make them great. But I think that would ease a ton of pain. When I feel spread too thin, oftentimes it's because I am micromanaging or doing all of the key tasks. So use your people. Maybe find people.
I'm wondering too, like, do you have an issue saying no? Because chances are this isn't the job description you had when you started, and it's in so many different fields and directions. Sometimes, people are coming to us in the church and saying, hey, can you take this? Can you take this? And we want to be a team player. We want, and so we're afraid to say no in the moment, even though we know it would be healthier, or afraid to push back, or afraid to say, can we find a volunteer to take this? I think of the 12th grade Sunday school class, that's probably something that you would want to do, right? Because that falls under the youth ministry
That's
umbrella.
youth ministry, yes.
But, the communications piece, did they come to you late? It just doesn't sound like when you got hired the kind of job description that would be written.
Yeah.
So whether that's you're, afraid to say no, or you're saying yes all the time, or pride and ego is keeping you saying yes because you want to be in control and have all these responsibilities and seem important. I mean, I don't know the context, but is it possible to say no to some of these things?
Well, and he's probably excellent at a lot of what he does.
That's what I was kind of thinking. In some ways, being spread too thin is a humongous compliment. Or it's incapable leadership that doesn't understand your abilities. But chances are, someone saying, this person's sharp.
Yeah,
they
Let's
can get it
give them
done.
more. They can get it done. They're going to deliver. They're
Maybe.
a player. Let's do it.
So start feeling.
So so drop a few balls and boom, you're back to normal.
Well, the bigger picture leadership
that for
principle
years.
for all of us is that there are times as a leader you have to die a little death of letting something go.
Oh yeah.
So there are things that, I can remember when I was just the high school pastor, and then I took on preaching responsibilities at our church. Well, I couldn't do everything. So if I'm going to take on that preaching responsibility, I got to let something go. And you don't want to let it go because you like doing it. It brought you joy.
Absolutely.
You were good at it. But you have to actually grieve it. You have to hold a little funeral for it. You have to, say, okay, that's just not mine anymore. And it doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to let something go. So you actually have to give it a funeral in some ways in your heart,
Totally.
and know that takes time. But if I was Andy's boss, I'd say, Andy, here's the deal. You are over so many things. Who are your 6 key leaders, from children's to youth to social media to whatever it is? Who are those 6 key leaders? That's where your time is spent. You are developing those key leaders. Now, Andy's response would be, yeah, Doug, but that's why I didn't get into ministry to develop 6 key leaders. I got into ministry to develop, work with teenagers. Then you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. Am I called to this church, or am I called to just being with teenagers? Because when you are developing leaders, you die a little death with what you let go of. But every time I spend time with this leader over here, when he or she is spending time with kids, in essence, I'm spending time with those
Absolutely.
kids. So I either have to reframe my leadership, or I have to just go to another place where all I say yes to is youth ministry.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. It's great.
Well, and if your leader is not coming to you, like if your leader doesn't recognize that you're spread too thin, because sometimes leadership is not coming to you saying, hey, I realize you're spread
You
really
look
thin right
unhealthy.
now.
Yeah, you were only here till 8 p.m. last
Totally.
night.
I mean, you might need to go to your leadership and just say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and I really want to do some things well. Is there a way to still develop leadership in some of these areas, but also, kind of, I don't know, hone in the job description a little bit,
hold on to something that you really love.
Yeah.
So I know there was a season where I was giving up a lot of things, and I just said, I'm going to hang on to student leadership, and that's going to be my baby.
Right.
I don't care what else I do. I'm doing student leadership, and I'm going to give away everything else. I'm going to die those deaths over there, but I can't do everything, but I'm going to hang on to this one. or a small group of kids or whatever it might be.
The place where you're most passionate, and really good.
Well, I would say too, just remember that ministry comes in seasons and waves, and nothing that you really love something, it doesn't mean that it's gone forever. It could come back around. There could be a,
Yeah, for sure.
let stuff go. It's okay.
Yeah. Like our buddy Matt. He'll be back.
He'll be back. 2-3 months tops.
I talked to him yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
So Matt, those of you who are regulars, Matt was the fourth person on our show, moved to Pismo Beach 4.5 hours away.
Rest in Pismo.
And he said to me, the first day of school was this week for his kids after, the break. He said, if they would have come back and had a bad first day and they didn't want to be here, I would told me we'll be back in 6 months. We'll be back in 6 months. Perfect. I knew that's good.
So you're texting his oldest boys, going, "Hey, tell Dad
it was probably terrible. Right?
I hear you're miserable.
Yeah, I know how hard it is. Hang in there, but really, hey, don't hang in there.
Here's some drugs."
Oh, I love it.
All right, JD Hill says, "Hey guys, JD Hill here. DYM member, DYM pitchman, and youth ministry extraordinaire."
Pitchman?
Just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
You remember JD?
No, he bleeds DYM.
Yeah.
Aww.
Which
he is the guy. I think I told you the story. He was in my class with Kathy and I were teaching, and he was saying he had a hard time. He's procrastinating and stuff like that. And I said, "Quit playing video games." I said, "You're a gamer, right?" All of a sudden he turns totally. Yeah, I'm a
one
gamer.
tier. Little,
Yeah.
PlayStation.
With gamers.
Didn't know. I just totally guessed.
Yeah.
Totally guessed. Just
Nothing
looked like a
wrong with
He
gamer.
just looked like a
Gamers.
gamer, so he's really good looking, super well built, like me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Very similar. Very similar.
Yeah, that's me.
A haircut from the 80s. Yep, it looked. No, not
I
you.
like your hair.
JD.
Oh.
JD.
At least I still have hair.
I'm so blessed to be able to hang out with you guys at National Youth Workers Convention. Josh, Parker, and Justin were a riot together.
That was fun. It was a good time. He's a good dude.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sorry Matt got canned from the show. Anyway, here's my question. What roles do you consider most important in ministry? Teacher, pastor, team leader, visionary.
Wow.
And how do you balance your time between them?
Oh.
That's a great question.
How would we rank them?
Yeah. One. How would we rank them, or how does the church rank them?
What roles do you
that's part of it.
What roles do you
Probably
consider
us.
most important in ministry? Yeah. Teacher, pastor, team leader, visionary.
That's a really good question. Well, I would say it's different for every person. So don't take our answers and immediately latch onto them like this is the way. Like I'm supposed to be that person. I would say pastoring. Pastoring is really, really important. I'm not sure that the church or students, I don't know. I feel like they would agree with that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, of those, teacher, pastor, team leader, visionary, would you, let's get team leader and visionary. Let's combine that into just leader.
I was going to say that. I
Yeah,
would have said
I'm okay with that.
pastoring, team leader, and vision second, and teaching third.
Yeah, so let's just go teacher, leader, pastor. Of those, you're saying pastor.
I'm saying pastor, yeah.
What are you saying?
I'm saying pastor as number one.
Okay. But would you say, Josh, that is your top of those three? Is that your lead gift?
No, probably not.
What is it?
I would say leader.
Yeah.
Team leader. I'm no Katie. I'm no Katie. I know that.
Who is?
But I would say the church they really care about teaching. Like, I think that is the perception of the church, and many churches would be, we want someone who is great on stage, who can give a great talk, who's funny but also truthful and engaging.
That's a value.
Whether they care for kids or not?
I think that matters, but I think teaching
Do you
matters.
think there's something
a ton.
related to size? You happen to be at a large church
Could be.
that is more of a value than...
Could be. But I think senior pastors are oftentimes completely evaluated based on their messages. Some of their pastoring, some of their leading, but a ton of it is based on the quality of their teaching.
Yeah, but haven't you talk to people where they say, oh, gosh, he's as boring as anything.
Yeah,
but
you can't teach away a paper
he
bag.
is such a pastor. That's why we go there.
Yeah, I love that. I love it when people say that. I just think it's not always the case. I think a lot of people value what happens on the stage more than what happens within the people.
What do you
I think it's wrong.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that. I think we think about it more than our congregation thinks about those things. You know what I mean? I think they would all think those are the same thing.
Yeah,
they want you
that's
to
probably
pastor,
very
teach,
true.
and lead all at the same level,
Yeah.
and to feel all of those things from you. So I think that's the demand on us, is to be all of those equally at all times,
Right.
So,
Well, when a person is on
I don't know.
stage, they're evaluating your pastoring and your leading. Like,
Yeah.
I think we connect the stage and the title of pastor and the quality of the message all into one thing. And I know that's true, because if I don't teach for 4 weeks, people are like, wow, how are we doing? Is everything, are we all right? And I'm like, yep, I'm totally here, totally present, just letting some other people teach. But we have somehow connected the teaching to leadership. And so, I don't know.
Well, and visibility is leader, so
Right.
that too is connected. But I mean, I think it's so weird. The word pastoral, even thinking pastoring, like teaching is part of pastoring, and loving people is part of
Right,
pastoring.
right.
I mean, there's
It's all pastoring.
I mean, I know they're different gifts, but at the same time, when you think of pastor, I think you think all of those words are synonymous. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, not that every leader is a great pastor, every leader is a great teacher. I mean, I know, like I said, from this side of the table, I know that that's not true.
Is it fair to say all 3 of those titles are required? And so lean into the one where you're gifted the most and find other people to help you with the others.
I think that's a real safe way to, I don't mean safe like easy out. I mean, that's a good answer that really, as a youth ministry leader, you need to be a youth ministry communicator. You need to be a youth ministry pastor. Chances are you're going to lean more heavily on one of those. You're going to feel more in your sweet spot with one. But depending, oftentimes depending on the size of your church, I think I probably went in with more of a pastor's heart. And as my ministries grew, I had to develop more leadership chops.
Totally.
And more teaching chops. And then, then my teaching chops were valued in some ways more than my leader and my pastoring. And I had to bring teams on to do some of the pastoring. So a lot of it is size related too. Yeah. That you tend to find, my observation, more high octane leader/teachers in bigger churches, and you find people who are pure pastor types in smaller churches.
But Fields, even when things grew, I don't ever think that you weren't very pastoral. It just was your audience kept changing. So you went from maybe pastoring students to then pastoring adults, pastoring teams, pastoring leaders, but I don't ever think that went away. Like,
for me, I would say if I lean in any of those 3, I feel like I'm pastor. That's where my heart bleeds. I don't wake up thinking, boy, I can't wait to get on that stage and teach. I don't think, boy, I want to lead and take the,
Katie's teaching this weekend and is thinking, I don't want to get on that stage to teach.
Yeah, but some people, that's what they, I have people say every time I go speak somewhere, how do I become like you? What does that mean? Well, I want to be a speaker. Well, I went to be a pastor who became a speaker. I think all 3 are important.
I do too.
I think
you have to.
I think Josh said it well. If you're weak in those areas, surround yourself with other people who are strong in those areas.
I'm also looking at those they compete a little bit. Like, if you want to be a great teacher, that requires a significant amount of preparation.
Yeah.
And if you're buried in the text and in creative and trying to, and then people get in your way. So pastoring kind of gets in the way of being a great teacher, and vice versa. You're like, I just spend so much time with people. I got to give a message this weekend.
Yeah.
So I think in some ways too, there's a natural tension to those expectations.
I had a conversation this week. There's a large church in our area. There's 5 large churches, so I will not give this away. There's 5 mega churches within a 20-mile radius, and somebody approached me about a succession plan, and said, "Would you ever consider that?" And I said, the problem with the
Not without Josh and Katie up top. Here we go. Wait, what?
High-fiving that?
Yeah, I'll high-five that. I don't know where we're going, but I'm in.
In a mega-sized church, I think people are coming because of the teaching. I may be 100% wrong, but here's my feeling. They're coming because of the teaching. So to have strong teaching requires that you're not going to be able to lead as well.
Right.
So I think, and I've seen some models, I've spoken at a lot of these churches, where you've got some co-pastors. One has the teaching chops, and the other has the leader chops. It doesn't mean that this leader can't teach and that this teacher can't lead. It's just, when you're talking about moving large amounts of people to a place of maturity, I can't just get up and wing messages. So, to do that well, I got to put a lot of time into that.
Yeah.
If I put a lot of time into that, I can't put a lot of time into my staff and team. So, I'm not sure it's realistic. That's a realistic job description for what we look to. The Bill Hybels and the Rick Warrens, they started with zero. They started with nobody. And they built, and they were able to reinvent themselves
over and over.
Now you're looking, you got this level, and you're looking at succession plans, and you're going, okay, where do you get that person who has high octane in all of those areas?
Right.
It'd be interesting to see that next generation of what succession looks like in the mega.
world.
Totally interesting.
Yeah.
But I think in these 3 areas too, like I really do think you have to be all 3. But I definitely think it's a process. I feel like I'm in process as a leader, I'm in process as a teacher, and I'm in a process as a pastor. I'm continually growing and looking for what's my next step in all of those areas, and have people in each of those areas who are great mentors as leaders and teachers and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I'm with you.
It doesn't have to be you are at the top in all 3 areas. It could just be a work in progress in all 3 areas.
Yeah, you're developing all of them. I like it.
We have so many great questions left, and we're right at 30 minutes. Which we said in the new world of the web shows, we're going to be done at 30 minutes.
I like it. It was a good show. It was
Parker,
fun.
are you okay with this? Can we end here? Have you figured out how you're going to insert yourself? And
I'll allow it, yes.
You'll allow it? I love it.
all right.
It's a good show. Fun.
Don't forget the tearful montage.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. When it comes to episode 161, we've got 261. Sorry, we're halfway there to our 500 shows.
We're on our way.
Yeah.
500 shows. We're out. We're dropping the mic.
Oh.
Finally.
Yeah.
I
think we should call it. I think we should call it quits at 500.
5 years from now, we better call it quits.
It might not be. Maybe we do one every week.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And that'd be do the math.
That'd be
5 years. All right. So I'm not great at math.
Yeah.
Yeah. That fell under
You're
the.
a great pastor, though.
You're a great pastor.
Thank you.
We got the emails. We're okay.
All right.
Okay, we got this.
So episode 261 in the year of 2015.
Yeah.
We actually, letting you know, we have a new primary sponsor coming on board.
We do.
Youre Specialties
New year.
is putting their finances another direction, which is fine.
We love you. Why?
No
It's been a
offense
great
to you.
run. Been a great run.
Or to Josh, it was all Matt. Once Matt left
He
this year,
left. They're like, we're leaving too.
We're out.
YS just
I get
Gizmo'd
it.
us.
Yeah. we have a new sponsor that we're very excited about. We're going to have a new studio in 2015. We're going to have new mics
Coming in
in 2015. We like to call that.
Mics.
We like to call that hashtag Foddy.
Oh, my friend Fadi is a wonderful man. He is just wonderful.
Yes. And so we've got great questions for the new year.
We're each going to get our own mic, or you're going to get a second mic? Or
Can mine be gold or sparkly?
Oh, yeah.
I
Feels
would
right.
like-
Sequence.
Foddy,
Yeah.
are you okay with that? Gold sparkling mic?
Gold,
Katie?
sparkly mic.
Yeah.
Just something that sets me apart.
Pink. I like it.
I'll take whatever sets me apart.
Pink, bedazzled.
Thank
Unbelievable.
you. Yes, I'll take it.
All right, we're in. We're excited. See you next year, right? Next year. See you.
Yeah,
2015.
and DYM members, look for in January on your opening letter on the main membership page, we're going to have the code for you to get the insider loop so that we're now thinking about the member questions are going to rise to the top.
they're-
Anybody can listen, anybody can write in
Whoa.
questions.
But these are the only ones that matter. Love
No,
you.
that's not true.
Love you.
I know.
Love you. Cool.
If you're a
Was that
rewinder.
the end?
Yeah,
That
that's
was
it.
like weird.
Okay, now it's the end. Now let's end it. Hey, thanks for watching.
And
Is that okay?
Yes,
Katie, you
that was
end it.
better. The end.
The
It's
end.
still
Goodbye.
going.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
I thought we said 30 minutes.
Happy